What is freedom? Freedom is having the choice to shape your own life. Freedom is when you are born and can decide for yourself where you go and do what you want to, where there is no higher authority that forbids you from shaping your own life or punishes you for wanting to live your very own life. This is freedom, where you alone are allowed to decide about yourself, no one else. Freedom, however, is not having the freedom to mug someone on the street, to impose one's will on someone, to rob, blackmail, terrorize, judge, imprison, or kill someone in order to impose one's will on another person, because that is violence. Incidentally, this is the violence that criminal governments and rulers practice in order to be able to rule their serfs. With their administrations, monopolies of violence, and a legal system based on violence, fear, robbery, force, and exploitation. In these systems, freedom is reduced to a minimum and has been nipped in the bud since childhood. Any desire for freedom and individuality is democratized, standardized, and criminalized. The people in these state prisons are held hostage, their whole lives and bred like animals, controlled and indoctrinated so that they don't dare to leave the program. The values of these state prisons allocate their property a concrete cage or a piece of land for a fee, where they spend their whole lives and celebrate their imprisonment in residential detention every year by choosing the system of their oppressors, because they believe that one day they will rob them less or treat them better, which of course will never happen. Slaves in these prisons are not allowed to own anything, and if they have acquired something, they can only use it temporarily, such as the land where they may have built a house. Of course, according to the rules and permission of the prison authorities and their administrations, from the building materials that are permitted or prescribed. However, this land or house will never belong to them. They will have to pay for it as long as they live, through taxation, no matter how much they once paid for it. They will put it into perspective for the rest of their lives, that it is not much that is being stolen from them. Like a woman who has been raped, the argument is made that she was only raped a little, just 10 seconds. Or a robber who only stole 10 cents and someone says, "Just get over it. It was only 10 cents. People are just as careless and naive in allowing themselves to be robbed of their land and freedom. Even if the tax were only €1, it would be robbery. This is only the way to deal with slaves and serfs who have no rights, but not with free people. Every vote for a party is nothing more than an admission that you are too stupid to organize your own life. Like inmates in a psychiatric ward, they voluntarily run to the polls and throw away their lives and freedom, because the oppressors promise to take care of their safety and give them money if things don't go so well with their job, whereby it is precisely your oppressors who produce insecurity non-stop in order to endanger the people, to keep them in fear so that they never leave their system of blackmail and systematic robbery. It feels damn good when someone takes care of you. Like small children who ride bicycles with training wheels their whole lives until they are old and gray, instead of learning to live for themselves without being dependent on someone who only suggests security and constantly robs and blackmails them. With every vote, they issue a power of attorney to a gang of thieves who presume they can do anything they want with them. They blackmail parents into injecting their children with all kinds of chemicals. At the same time, terrorize them by looking them up if they don't submit to the corresponding examinations by the pharmaceutical mafia. They breed people according to their ideas so that they can make good, submissive, authority-hungry slaves, cowards, who never feel the desire or urge to want to shape their own lives in freedom and self-determination, or worse, never want to leave the state captivity completely. Because chaos awaits everyone, as they have been constantly taught through programming since childhood via the entertainment industry. Burning streets await them if they only dare to live freely and self-determined. This is how they program their serfs to perfection on a spiritual level, almost religiously telling them that hell awaits them if they eat the forbidden fruit of freedom. Every attempt to leave the prison, where the state parasites feed on us all their lives, ends with blackmail through their criminal courts, threats of deprivation of liberty, and threats of violence. And if one should physically defend oneself because one wants to defend the family from the attacks of these terrorists, this often ends in the hospital or in the cemetery, where the remains are half disemboweled. They are being cremated so that the corpse is not visible, and the slaves themselves pay for the grave every year. What people want, or what they desire. What they have is conveyed to them via the media in subconscious suggestive messages. They are brainwashed around the clock and programmed with constantly repetitive content, so that every lie and every distortion of reality sticks in their heads and never leaves them. And if someone does leave the state matrix, the freedom-loving person is intimidated with yellow letters, court hearings, and raids by a violent gang of robbers, where the executioners of this state mafia use their own rules of the game and often beat up defenseless people with absolute brutality because they have dared to breathe freely. Read a book on a park bench or enjoy freedom with other people. They would rather spray tear gas in people's faces than simply let people live their lives in peace. Their system is so democratic that there is no way to leave it. Arguments that we could change this state prison at any time with an election is more absurd than any April Fool's joke. A party system made up of creatures who take the right to rob others, to terrorize, and to have their subordinates slaughtered in their insane madness, even in wars. How can something so absurd represent an election? How would the slave on the cotton fields respond if she were given the choice of choosing another farm where he could work for another master? Would he be happy about it? That every year he has the choice to be commanded, oppressed, beaten, and have his life ruined by someone else? What kind of insane attitude is it to entrust our lives to these power-mad fools when they have been proving to us for generations that they are the worst robbers, warmongers, and liars? A bunch of psychopaths playing chess and Monopoly with us, on the backs of our children and grandchildren. Do we want to live our whole lives in fear of a state monster and look forward to the next fake pandemic where they will once again beat us and our families and lock us up like animals in cages if their boss psychopath has decided so? And they might shoot us if we refuse. And we, crawling on all fours, say yes sir in rank and file? Just so we don't get killed or killed by the friends and helpers of this criminal state organization? Where has your honor gone? What kind of world do you want to leave your children? A pile of rubble left behind by insane lunatic parasites in politics that you now call your life? Or do you want to promote more mass graves of dead vaccinated or poisoned people with your tax money? Or watch as your children are soon sprayed sick and dead with new chemical warfare agents from the pharmaceutical mafia? Or see them executed for the amusement of some end-time cults as sacrificial offerings in their wars? Do you enjoy seeing others suffer? Do you enjoy behaving like a state pimp's whore and showing your children what a cowardly pig you really are? You want to be a role model? What the hell kind of role model are you? Do you love your country? As if you love your children as much as you love your country, then you deserve neither the children nor the country in which you live. Because if you treat your own country like shit, trample on its roots and cultural roots, allow yourself to be dispossessed, and watch as the country is destroyed, and the future of our children is destroyed and endangered, and even help to finance it, that kind of person does not love. Such a person has never loved. Such a person hates. And not only their own country, but also their children. Because if you loved your children, you would also care about their homeland, the world in which they grow up, in which they even give birth to their own children one day. Forgive my words, but I cannot remain silent when the country is burning. I can't play down when serious things happen. I can look the other way when injustice happens. Take back your country, no matter where you are in the world. It's your world. Shape it yourself and don't leave it to a handful of psychopaths.